Hey fam, welcome back to yet another episode with the Makhubelez. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're a first timer, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in. Here we talk about family, real life struggles, what has been happening in our lives, and some of the lessons that we are learning, and some of the takeaways that you would get to have through our lessons in life. So, in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the things that you need to know before you say I do. So, this is for those that are single, this is for those that are in marriage, this is for those that want to go into marriage, and this is for those that are curious. Those small things that you feel like, hey, I think I need to know this before I say I do. So, this episode, I'll be talking about that. So, stay tuned and thank you so much for tuning in. So, what do you think is the number one thing that we need to know when we are going into marriage? Remember, marriage is not a honeymoon everyday thing. Marriage is going to bring out the best in you if you marry the right person. Marriage is going to bring out the worst in you if you marry the wrong person. It's not all about getting all the roses. I thought maybe like when I get married we'll be having kids, the school run, we'll be now going to the mall together, going to church together, we'll now be having our what do you call it, matching outfits. That's what I thought. That's what I thought about marriage, but it's not that. It's different. It's totally different. It's a whole different phase. You marry someone and it's not going to be a honeymoon phase up until forever after. There will be joy, yes. There will be work, yes. There will be things that come in during the marriage. There are so many things that will come into life when you get married to someone. So marriage is not just going to be a honeymoon phase throughout. It's totally going to be something else different every day. You experience a honeymoon phase in the beginning, yes, and then as you continue going, you either make the honeymoon phase last, or you now get to the real life struggle where you guys are now seeing each other's characters for real, for real, for real. So marriage is not a honeymoon phase throughout. There will be challenges, there will be things that happen, and it needs you to be braced up for that, because it's not going to be a honeymoon phase throughout. True. And this one goes to those people that are like, hey, I don't like talking, I'm not a talker, I'm just one person who's quiet. Hey, in marriage we have to talk. If you don't want to talk, then don't get married, okay? If you don't want to talk to someone, then just stay out of it. Communication isn't always talking. Communication, sometimes it's more than talking. Like, for example, you are mad at your partner, right? And then you are silent towards them. That's communication. Even though you are quiet, but the fact that you are silent, it means that you are communicating something. So marriage comes in with communication, not just being talking. Communication can come through you being silent, and communication can come through you voicing out your struggles, your fears, your concerns. And when someone says to you, honey, I don't like the way that you're doing things, it's not like they are nagging you. They are really concerned and they want things to be done differently. So before you say I do, you must know that communication isn't just talking to someone. Communication can come through in different ways, and at the end of the day, whatever that you guys do as partners, as a team, it has to be on the bounds that you want your marriage to work. You want whatever that you have to last, not to just be like, hey, if he doesn't talk, then I also won't talk. If he doesn't reply, then I also won't text. That it must be out, because once you bring that in your marriage, then you must know that you are applying for divorce, you are applying for separation, you are applying to just get divorced from your partner. That you need to know is that when you marry someone, you marry their past, you marry their present, and you marry their future. I thought maybe if I just get married to my husband, then I'm just going to be like marrying his present. But little did I know that once you get married to someone, once you are tied to someone, then you're marrying their past, because whatever that they did in their past is going to affect their present, and whatever that they're doing in their present is also going to affect their future. So at the end of the day, if you marry someone, before you say I do, you must know that you're marrying their past, you're marrying their present, and you're marrying their future. That's why I personally advocate for people to be transparent to each other. People should know the reality of whatever that you as a person did, whatever that you as an individual is doing, or whatever that you as an individual would want to do. That's where being transparent comes into play. Because if, like for example, you marry someone, right, and then you don't know their past, now you are together and you are being lovey-dovey, and then the past knocks on the door, what are you going to do? How are you going to handle the situation? This is the situation whereby you'll be like, you feel betrayed, you feel like he didn't air out whatever that he was supposed to air out, he didn't tell me the truth, and I had a choice before I said I do. Now you're just being a shadow of yourself, and at the end of the day, it's going to affect the way that you see your partner, it's going to affect the relationship on its own, and it's even going to affect maybe the whole marriage setup. So before you say I do, remember, you are going to marry this person. You're marrying his past, you're marrying his present, you're marrying his family, you're marrying his friends. If he keeps friends that are not good, then you must know that whatever that you do in your house is going to be discussed with his friends. That's something that you really need to know, that it's a reality, and it's something that is real. It's something that stands out, and you don't just say I do to your guy. You say I do to his bad habits. You say I do to whatever that he does. So you must be prepared, be braced up for the situation that you face in whatever that you do, and be ready to face any challenge that comes with the I do part. Let's talk about intimacy in marriage. So many people think that when you get married to your partner, now you'll have intimacy throughout. Like, some people would think maybe we'll have sex 10 times a day, maybe we'll be together 20 times in a day. But some seasons are called, like in a year we have summer, autumn, winter, and spring. Some seasons are cold, some seasons are hot, some seasons like there's just wind all over the place. So you must always be braced up before you say I do. Do not over expect to be like, oh, we'll be lovey-dovey every day, we'll be up and down, you know, that kind of thing. No, it's not like that. You have to be braced up and know that it's not always about you and your husband or your wife being intimate all the time. It's going to come through, yes, but intimacy will change over time. Imagine when you have kids, and now you can't just have sex in the kitchen because the kids are there. And when the in-laws are there, you won't be having sex in the dining room because the in-laws are there. So those are some of the things that you need to know, that okay, intimacy is not going to be like the same throughout. Like, just like we have seasons, we are also going to have like intimacy in different levels. So you must be braced up for that as well. Let's talk about kids. This is the last segment of before you say I do, what you need to know. Kids will always change everything. When kids come, you see whether you married someone who's good for you or not. Because if you married someone, and as for ladies, when you become pregnant with a child, everything changes, right? So when you have your child with your husband, those present daddies moments will always be seen with how present he is when the child cries, with how present he is for the school runs, with how present he is when you say we want this for the child or that for the child. You may be lovey-dovey now, but when the child comes, when the stress and the burden comes of raising up a child together, you see, you will see. So before you say I do, remember that you need to know, like, this person, am I in with the right person, or am I in with just a person who's going to be a deadbeat mom, a deadbeat dad? So before you say I do, remember all those things. Kids are going to change everything. It's up to you guys to make it work or to break it. So from me to you, peace. Hey, conflicts will always be there. In marriage, conflicts will always be there. Fights will always be there. You will always not agree on everything that you wish you agreed on, but that doesn't mean that you guys are not meant to be. Fights are healthy. If you don't fight, then you don't see your strength. If you don't argue, then you don't see where you guys are going through, like if you guys are building or you are breaking. So at the end of the day, fights are healthy, but bring out the best in each other when you are fighting. Choose your ways wisely. Women, I know you guys, you like talking. I know you guys, you just want to say what comes to your mind, but be careful with the choice of words that you use when you are fighting. Before you say I do, remember the choice of words that you always use before you fight with your partner or during a fight with your partner. Words are very sensitive. Words are some things that we cannot take back. So if you say something that is bad to your partner, it's going to be engraved in his heart, and at the end of the day, even if you say I'm sorry because of the words that I said, but the fact that it is cut through deep within his soul, whatever that you say, it might even affect your marriage. So be mindful of the choice of words that you say to your partner. Be mindful of the choice of words that you say to one another. And yes, marriage conflicts are always going to be there. Before you say I do, be prepared for conflicts. You always won't agree on everything that you guys do or say, but what brings out the best in you is that you are going to build something after the conflicts that you have. Let's talk about finances and marriage. You know, one thing that is going to test you in marriage is money. One thing that is going to prove if you are there for real or you are not is money. Money is a subject that is very, very difficult to navigate in marriage. If you didn't know budgeting, if you didn't know planning, if you didn't know a lot of financial literacy before you got married, then if you haven't said I do, you need to do that now for your own future, for your own betterment. Like, if you get married without those basic knowledges about finances, about money matters, then you are in for a surprise. Money will test you. If you are a person that will get through seasons where it will be difficult with your partner, then you need to be braced up for whatever that is going to come through. You need to know that it's not always going to be rosy. Sometimes the money will be there, sometimes the money won't be there. I heard of a couple that got married and then the money stopped coming through when they got pregnant. So those seasons, you must be prepared for that. And if you are not careful enough, that's when you start saying, I think I married the wrong person. I think I didn't do the right choice with marrying this person. Or you get married, you are earning so well, the businesses are doing so well, but you are married to someone who is a cankerworm, if I can put it that way. Someone who is going to chow the money that you will even be bankrupt before you know it. You need to know all those things. You can be married to someone who doesn't know how to plan life. You doesn't know how to do things, like who's just going to be concerned about drinking and all those kind of things. You need to be braced up for that. So before you say I do to someone, you must know, like, those basic things. Money will test you. And with your partner right now, be in a position where you can know, like, okay, if I'm with this person, am I going to advance, am I going to be backward? Because some people will bring like that backwardness in your life, some people will bring that advancement in your life. So you must choose wisely. Make sure before you say I do. Money will test you, but be braced up and know, like, even if money is gonna test you guys, you are in a position where you are better off financially, you are literate when it comes to financial decisions. So this is some of the tips that I have for you before you say I do.